Hey guys, this week I chose to do Case Project 9-5 Top Tablet Apps. The app displays 6 of your favorite web tech sites. An opening screen displays the name of 6 top technology sites. Each list item opens the corresponding text site. Here's my icon, here's my URLs. Before we get into this, I will say that uh, I think there's something wrong with Android Studio, or maybe somebody else figured out something I didn't. I've deleted Android Studio and re-downloaded it, re-downloaded my emulators, done all the setup. I've tried to do this project countless times the way that the book wants it to. The fact of the matter is the master detail flow that I'm pretty sure it's wanting us to use that we went over in this chapter is deprecated. That's been replaced with primary detail flow, but it is similar and not the same. Even if you copy the book's instructions word for word, I kept having issues. And furthermore, as soon as you start a blank project with that template, you should be able to run your emulator, and it will give you 25 default list items. It wasn't even doing that. It kept saying there were a bunch of issues, Gradle builds and stuff that Android Studio is supposed to build on its own, among other errors, and I couldn't fix it. I tried several times. I ended up deleting my projects over and over, and I just came to a point yesterday where I just decided it was time to figure out how to do this on my own without going off the template. So I satisfied what the uh, assignment is wanting. I will say that. And to do so, I created 2 separate layout files, um, for portrait and landscape. Uh, so it's semi-responsive, I would say, and then the web view takes care of the rest. So let's get into that. All right. So here I've got my 2 layouts, activity main and activity land. So landscape and portrait, respectively. Um, all right, yeah, let's go ahead and open up the strings. Put that in just a minute. Oh, all right. So the code for these is pretty straightforward. I've got my list view and then my constraints, and then I've got my web view, and I've got it set up to take up whatever space that list view doesn't use. So that's why I've got weight 1 and set all those to 0. The code for the portrait is going to be the same, except I've got some of my, all the constraints are going to be the same. It's just you're in a different view mode. Okay. All right, and for my strings, I just have my URLs here, so it's quick and easy to copy and paste. That's why they're commented out. I've got the text for each of the list items that I want to use in here, and I was able to successfully reference those this time. Okay, so let's get into main. Well, that's just the code for that. Never mind. All right, so I created a custom class text site, and all this does is put all my information and returns what I need it to, for objects and references. So for my site names and URLs, once it gets that, it passes it through to my constructor, and then I'm using an override method to string to get the text for the site name. And this was a stupid mistake on my part, but I put get site name here for this, and I was wondering why whenever I would run the code that it kept giving me the reference location within my file hierarchy, and it was because I was calling on the object reference position instead of the actual text itself. So that's why I have the override here. And the URL, it just sends me back the URL. Okay, so with that being said, here we go. Initializing my array list and applying it to TextSite, and then I have that populated down here. This right here is part of the standard code that's generated, except I have changed it to switch between the landscape and portrait XML files as needed. All I'm doing with this ternary operator is I'm getting the configuration that the device used is currently in. So if it's in landscape, then I'm going to open up this layout. If it's not, then I open up the portrait. Okay. This is just to hide my action bar. This is just recycled code from my old splash screens. Here, I'm populating the 6 items I need for the text sites. Okay. Calling on this view with an array adapter and just setting up the simple list format. And list view, send it to the adapter, calling on the web view element. And then here I'm setting the onClick lambda for the list items and their positions. And then it loads the URLs based on what's been sent back in the items. Let's go ahead and run it. And I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I did get the emulators fixed. It was a problem with Android originally, Android Studio. I mean, I did modify the XML manifest again, but yeah, whenever I had to set up everything. So here's the web view. All right, and now, oops. All right, focus on this image right here. It's going to cut off in portrait mode, and that's just the web. That's the website's actual responsiveness itself, not this app. I spent a long time trying to figure that out. And to test that, we can grab. All right. Look at this right here. So notice the weird face thing. Okay. So let's switch this to the landscape. Get this out of the way. See, it cuts off right there. That's part of their website responsiveness, not the app. Same goes with the nav bar. So see how it shifted this down here? That's how I figured that out. Was it's moving things around. It's just not the website's not as responsive as it should be. So let's open up another one just to prove they work. All right. So load. Oh, now it loads. Okay. All right. This one. And the last one. That's it for this week. Thank you.